I'm going to go immediately to sharing my screen, and we're going to go immediately to a conversation that we were having yesterday. We're just going to pick up where we left off. Hold on. I don't know what I just did there. All right, everybody should be looking at the lead generation model. Valerie, I got you on camera. If you can give me a thumbs up so I know that everybody's seeing what I'm seeing. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Valerie. Okay, recapping. So we're going to work 250 days a year. That's 50 weeks times 5 days. And our standard is 20 real estate conversations per day. By the way, if your standard is 10, that's fine. Whatever your standard is, hit it. If your standard is 20, then that's 5,000 real estate conversations in the year. You're focusing on building your database, and you're focusing on adding people to your pipeline over here on the left-hand side. Adding people to your database, really simple. I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. That simply means that I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month, and I call every 3 or 4 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I added you to that group? Now, adding people to your pipeline. This is prospecting for sell by owners, expired listings, circle prospecting, and I'm looking for somebody who is either trying to sell their home, like a for sale by owner, or someone who was trying to sell their home, like an expired listing, or I'm circle prospecting around a property that was just listed or just sold. I'm asking everyone around that home, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? The focus on this is I want to find one person every day, either a for sale by owner or an expired listing, or from circle prospecting, one person every day who's thinking of selling their home. And I want to get face-to-face with them. I want to meet with them. And I'm building relationships. Now I've got 250 people that I have met with face-to-face. And the next step is follow-up, which is right down here. And once I've met with those 250 people through lead generation on the left-hand side, now I'm in follow-up. And this is where we're going to go just a little bit deeper today. Month 1, I'm going to follow up once per week. I'm going to give you what those conversations sound like in just a moment. Month 2, I'm following up every other week. And for sell by owners and expireds, most of those that are going to turn into a listing will do so in the first 2 months. However, if they don't, then by the time we get to month 3, I'm following up once every month. And common question that I get here is how long? The answer is forever. Or until they list their home with another agent or they sell their home. Otherwise, I'm following up. Even if I hear I'm never going to list my home, I'm never going to hire you, any other kind of what I would call noise that stops most real estate agents from following up, I'm going to continue to follow up because I reject rejection, because no is not a word that lives in my vocabulary. No simply means not yet, because I understand that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. Now, what is this going to do for me when I'm working 250 days and I'm having 20 conversations every day? I'm having 5,000 real estate conversations, and I've added 250 people to my database. 10% of my database should turn into a closed sale if I'm working my database. If I'm not working my database, it's not going to work. Now, what does working your database mean? Simple. Build relationships, add value, make care calls, and ask, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? Script, write it down. It's simple. 10% of your database should turn into a closed sale at the end of the year. 5% will be directly with people in your database, meaning 5% of your database is going to move every 12 months. And 5% should be referrals. So 10% of 250 is 25. So I've closed 25 sales right down here at the bottom. I've closed 25 sales with 250 relationships in my database. And back over here on the left, when I'm meeting with 250 people face to face, and then I'm following up with them systematically forever, 20% will hire me. And That's 50 sales. Now, if you're wondering, where are you getting these numbers from? Study, research, and personal experience. My personal experience working for sell by owners and expireds, for example, was 20% over time would hire me. I can count on it. Now, that means 80% or not, which means you're failing 80% of the time. If you choose to look at it like that, you're going to get discouraged. If you focus on the opportunities you're getting versus the people who are saying no, then you're not going to get discouraged. Here's another way of looking at it. Focus on the process, not the outcome. When you're focused on my job is to meet with one potential seller every single day, and then to follow up forever. That's the process. And I'm doing that, then I'm succeeding. I'm ignoring the results. I'm focusing on the activities. I will always succeed when I do that. Now, what do these conversations sound like? And add somebody to your database. I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. That simply means that I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month, and I call every 3 or 4 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I added you to that group? Care calls to your database. What does that sound like? Follow the Ford model of communication. FORD stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. If I called Valerie, hey, Valerie, John Dietz, it's been a couple months since we spoke. How's your family? And are you still working as a CPA at blank accounting firm? If I had a referral for you, what's a great email address for me to send that to? Are you accepting new clients? Hey, by the way, last time we spoke, you guys were getting ready to go on a vacation. I think you were packing for a cruise to the Bahamas. How did it go? Did you have a great time? What was your favorite part? I sent you a really cool article on the real estate market last week. It was actually predicting what's going to happen in 2023. And did you have a chance to look at it? Did you have any questions? Is there anything I can do for you today? Before I let you go, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? Now, care call, there it is. It's a script. You've got it. It's being recorded. Go back and watch the recording and write it down word for word and just repeat. All right, prospecting conversations, expired listing. I noticed your home came off the market, and if I had a full price offer on your home today, would you want me to bring you the offer? For sell by owner conversation, I noticed that you're selling your home by owner, and is it still available? If I had an offer today, would you want me to bring you the offer? That's awesome. That's exactly why we should get together. I just need 10 or 15 minutes to pop by so I can take a look at your home and potentially bring you an offer. Circle prospecting. A home in your neighborhood recently sold, which is great news. Our challenge now is there are still buyers looking for great homes like yours. And I'm curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? All right, got the appointment. Your job of the appointment is to build a foundation to create a relationship to follow up from. And the 3 things that I want you to focus on are: you can trust me, I care about you, and I can help you. The 3 questions that every seller is asking when you open up that front door and go in their home, even the ones who are telling you they're never going to list their home, they're interviewing you, I promise. And the 3 questions they're asking themselves are: can I trust you? Do you care about me? And can you help me? Do you know what you're doing? And I'm going to convey the answer to those questions in the way that I preview their home. Take notes, ask questions, like their home. Critically important. Now, one of the most important conversations you're going to have with them before you leave is the exit conversation. So replay this over and over again, because here's another great script for you. Before I leave, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. This would be for sell by owner. You know, in my experience, Justin, when somebody is selling their home by owner like you, they usually have a game plan for how long they're going to sell their home by owner before potentially considering hire a professional like me. Is it okay if I ask what your game plan is? They're going to answer you. Don't be surprised if they say 1 week. That's it. I'm going to do this for 1 more week and then I'm done. Don't be surprised when you hear that. If you're previewing the property on Friday, don't be surprised I'm having an open house tomorrow. I'm having another one on Sunday. And if it's not sold, I'm going to list it. Now, if you didn't ask this question, do you think they're going to offer this information to you? Say no, they're not. You're not going to know they're thinking of listing their home because you didn't ask. And you're going to drive by next week and there's going to be another real estate agent's sign in their front yard. You're going to go, holy cow, I didn't know they were thinking of listing their home. Well, duh, ask them. What's your game plan? Now, if they say, I'm never going to list it, cool, I understand. And my job now is to find a buyer for you and help you sell your home. All right, so Justin, before I leave, if I can ask one more question. You know, again, in my experience, when somebody is selling their home by owner like you, they're selling by owner in order to save on the fee. Is that the reason you're selling by owner? Justin says yes.
Yes.
By the way, don't be surprised if you hear, no, I don't know any good real estate agents. Now, I want to give you a mindset shift. Some for sell by owners put their home on the market by owner just to attract real estate agents because they don't know the right agent to hire for the job. Is it going to happen a lot? No. Will it happen sometimes? Yes. And if you hear, no, I don't know of any good real estate agents, all I want you to do, don't respond with, well, now you do, I'm the greatest. No, don't respond with that. Respond with, okay, if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? Now, if they respond with yes, which is going to be the most common response you get, your response to that is, that makes sense. And when we spoke on the phone, I know you mentioned to me that if a realtor brought you an offer, you would pay them 3% to sell your home. So the difference between selling your home by owner and working with a professional like me is 3%, not 6%. Slow down, give that opportunity to land. Because prior to you going on that appointment, they were thinking it was going to cost them 6% to hire a professional, and you're giving them an opportunity to have a paradigm shift. It's not going to cost them 6%. It's going to cost them 3%. So if they're selling that $500,000 home, it's only $15,000 to work with a professional, not $30,000. So the difference between selling your home by owner and working with a professional like me is just 3%. Stop. Pause, let it land. Floyd Wickman would call this dropping a bomb and walking away. And depending on how they respond, I'm either going to respond with, and before I go, I just want to let you know that I'm really good at follow-up, which means I'm going to stay in touch. I'm super persistent, but I'm not pushy. So I will follow up with you. You'll probably hear from me in the next couple of days. That's it. Say goodbye and leave. You're setting up the stage to follow up. Now let's talk about that. First week, I want you to call within a couple of days. And the conversation is simple. Lonnie, thank you for the opportunity to see your home. You have a beautiful home, and I'm excited for the opportunity to help you sell your home. I also wanted to check in and see if you have any questions for me. That's it. Don't go any further. It's gratitude and how can I serve you? That's the conversation. Now, the following week, you're going to call for the next 3 weeks, once a week. And the conversation is simply, I'm following up as promised, checking in to see how are things going. How's the activity? What kind of feedback are you hearing? That's it. How are things going? How's the activity? What kind of feedback are you hearing? Following week, Stephanie, John Dietz, following up as promised, checking in. Is your home still available? Have you had any offers? What are you doing to market your home? Third week, Lonnie, John Dietz, following up as promised, just checking in to see if your home is still available. That's it. Let them talk. We're 3 weeks in now. They're going to start feeling frustration at this point. Listen for frustration. When you hear frustration, I want you to pivot to, if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? Week number 4, I'm going to go to a different screen so I have somebody else's camera on here. Valerie, John Dietz, following up as promised. Just checking in. How are things going? That's it. Listen to what they say. Now you're in month 2. You're following up once every other week. And the conversation is really simple. Again, by this time, it's, hey, Valerie, John Dietz, following up as promised. Just checking in to see if your home is still available. Now, by this time, you might hear, how come you haven't brought a buyer? Here's your response. That's a great question. And the reason I haven't brought a buyer is nobody's calling me about your house. I'm pausing to give them an opportunity to say, what do you mean? Well, you see, I'm not marketing your property. I'm getting calls and I'm selling homes, but I'm getting calls on the properties that I'm representing, the properties that I'm marketing. And since I'm not working for you, nobody's calling me about your home. This is another Floyd Wickman, drop a bomb and walk away. I want them to connect the dots. The dots are, this might be somebody I want to talk to. If I want John to bring me a buyer, I might want to hire him in order to sell my home. All right, we're at month 3. Month 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever it takes. The conversation is Zach, John Dietz, following up. How are things going? And what can I do for you today? That's it. By this time, they know who you are. They know why you're calling. You don't need to tell them over and over again. It's just, Justin, hey, John Dietz, checking in. How are things? And what can I do for you today? That's it. And you might hear, just bring me a buyer. Awesome. I would absolutely love to do that when I have the right buyer. You don't want me to bring just any buyer. You know, as a matter of fact, Justin, what does a great buyer look like to you? Cool conversation. Now, sellers go to script school. They only have a few scripts. Here's the answer that you're going to get. The answer is somebody who can afford my home. And your answer is, that makes sense. And can I share what a great buyer looks like to me? A great buyer is someone who sold their home yesterday, needs to buy a house in the next 30 days. Or a great buyer is somebody who's in town for the weekend to buy a home. Wouldn't you agree? What are they going to say? No, that's not a great buyer. You're going to hear yes. And curious, Michelle, if you were that buyer, are you driving around looking at properties being sold by owner, or are you working with a professional like me? And if you're the realtor working with that buyer, are you driving them around showing them by owners, properties that are off the market, or are you showing them homes that are listed by a professional like me? And if you're not attracting one of those two buyers, who are you attracting? And if I could show you how I could help you sell your home for more money in less time by attracting the best buyers on the market, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? All right, talk to me. Do most for sell by owners agree to pay buyer's agent 3%? When, how do you have that conversation? Amy on the phone, if they ask. I have the conversation if they ask, what's your fee? My answer is 3% to represent the buyer if you accept the offer. Script, write it down. My fee is 3% to represent the buyer if you accept the offer. In other words, it's nothing if you don't accept the offer. Now, if they respond with not paying 3%, too much, I understand. And when I bring you an offer, if I need to give up money in order to make the deal work, I will, because I'm a deal maker, not a deal breaker. And until a real estate agent brings you an offer, their fee really doesn't matter, does it? And that is for the purpose of, I'm addressing all those agents that are telling them that they'll work for 1% or 2%. Hooray, who cares? Until they bring an offer, it really doesn't matter. They can promise to work for whatever fee they want. Seller hasn't saved a dime unless they've accepted an offer. Michelle, talk to me.
Hey, so okay, I see what you're saying exactly, and I love it. So, but what about when you get those really difficult people? So I've got one guy right now, and he's like kind of loud, outspoken. He's like, listen, I'm not going to be paying. He's like, I'm not going to pay, and I'm not paying a realtor, or I'm not going to give work away. Or what does he say? He's not going to give the deal away. Not he works for everything he had in life. He's not going to give it away, but he's going to pay 6% for a buyer's agent. But maybe I'm not explaining it right, but he is going to pay 6% for a buyer's agent. He's not going to give work away. He's bought and sold every home. He's nice, but he's outspoken, loud, and it's kind of hard to get a word in edgewise with him. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense, Michelle. So a couple things on that. First of all, let him talk. He just let him rant and rant and rant and rant. If anything, call more out of him. Tell me more. Why is that important to you? How does that make you feel? When you have an opportunity, start asking some harm's way questions. And one of those harm's way questions would be 97% of the buyers who are going to buy a home in the next 30 days are working with a realtor. So you're looking for the 3% who are not.
Okay.
He's going to say, well, I'm willing to pay a buyer's agent. Yeah. Now, if you were the real estate agent and you could represent one side of the sale for 3% or 6%, or you could represent both sides of the sale, do all of the work, be the only realtor in that transaction doing twice the work for the same amount of money, which would you rather do if you were the agent? If you do, according to the National Association of Realtors, when there's only one real estate agent involved in a transaction, it closes successfully only 63% of the time. In other words, if you knew you had a 37% chance of not getting to the closing table, would you hire a professional to represent you? If you were going into court, you were being sued, would you hire the other guy's attorney to represent you? You'd have an attorney working for you. Well, one of the advantages of working with me is I'm a fierce negotiator. Would you rather that I negotiate on behalf of the buyer in bringing you an offer, or would you rather that I represent you as a fierce negotiator? In other words, do you want me working for the other side, or do you want me working for you?
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, I'm giving you about a half a dozen responses to this conversation. Think harm's way. How can you put him in harm's way? Because people are more motivated by avoiding pain than they are by going towards pleasure. So I want to get him to pain and I want to park.
Yeah. He's also reduced his listing price, or his price of the home multiple times.
Yeah.
So would I attack that, or do I be careful for that? Or like the pain points of that, I should say.
100%. 100%. I'm going to attack that. 100%. How long does your home have to be on the market before you've lost everything you're trying to gain by not hiring a real estate agent?
Yeah, there you go.
According to the National Association of Realtors, the average property being sold by owner is selling for 90% of the asking price. Now I'm getting 98% of the asking price. If I could get your home sold for 98% of your asking price in 30 days versus you selling it for 90% in 90 days, where are you making more money? How much money is it costing you to sell your home by owner?
Okay, yeah, I do like the costing you. How much is it costing you?
How much money are you spending not to sell your home?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. Yeah, and Michelle, one more thing.
Yes.
I love difficult sellers because if they're difficult with me, they're difficult with everybody else.
Yeah.
It gives me the advantage over everybody else because not everybody else has the same playbook that I do.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because he kind of is it's the personality to kind of, push you off. And I hate to say this, but scare you off. And I like to think I don't get scared easily, but you're like, okay, I can deal with somebody else and I don't have to deal with you, but you just, I guess, just stay to it and keep on going and you've got it.
Well, Michelle, if you're meeting with one person every day, he's one of 250 people that you're in follow-up with, right?
Yes. Yes.
Which means he hires you, great. He doesn't, who cares?
Gotcha. Okay.
Don't be attached to the outcome.
Thank you.
And I'm not saying you are, but I kind of hear that. All right, Kiera, I absolutely agree that in this particular example, the seller is saying that he'll pay the buyer's agent 6%. I get it, 100%, right? And I've had sellers do that. I've had sellers, remember guys, they all think they're smarter than you are. I've had sellers say, well, I don't have a problem with 6%. What I have a problem with is listing agents listing my home and then not doing anything and getting 3% for doing nothing. Well, that's our fault. It's because we didn't do a good enough job of explaining to them what our job is. In other words, when you hire me, and it's 9:01, so we're going to close with this. When you hire me, my job is to market your property in order to attract the best buyers. Now, what that means, Valerie, is the buyer is going to come into your home, they're going to love your home, and they're going to buy your home. And it's going to look like I had nothing to do with that because another agent brought them. And in reality, I had everything to do with it. It was my marketing that attracted that buyer. They saw your home because of the marketing that I'm doing in order to attract the best buyers, the right buyers for your home. But by the time they see your home, they're already working with a realtor. So they're not calling me, they're calling their agent. They're saying, hey, Michelle, I just saw this house. The deeds team has it listed. It's absolutely perfect. It's on Palm Avenue, and I want to go see it. Now, that agent schedules an appointment to come see your home. They make an offer. They buy your home, and it looks like I didn't have anything to do with selling your home. When in reality, I'm the reason your home sold. You've got to have that conversation. Otherwise, they don't think you're doing anything. They think you listed their home, put a sign in their yard, and sat back and waited for somebody else to sell it. They're thinking that because you didn't give them another way to think.
I was thinking that too.
There you go.
Thank you.
You got it, girl. All right, everybody. I hope you got great value today. I'm going to save the chat if you dropped your email, and maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't know. All right. So I'll save it just in case. But remember, reach out to me if you want more information on Rainmaker Plus. And as always, make it a great day. See you guys tomorrow morning, 8:30.
Thank you.
My pleasure.